One of the biggest questions in the WWE right now is who is Seth Rollins' third man? In today's video, we're going to go through the entire WWE roster, no matter how long it takes to figure out who's going to be the third man in Seth Rollins' faction. This is Sancho West Wrestling. Be sure to subscribe for more of these type of videos that we're going to do here on YouTube. I appreciate the love. Let's go ahead and start with the entire WWE roster. I'm not playing around. We're going to go through the entire roster from SmackDown, Raw, NXT, even the commentators, even the managers. It's going to be everybody's going to be considered for the third man. Here are the categories I have. Not here. Vince's pick. No way. Would be fun. A big swerve. Wild card. And Seth Rollins' third man. So let's go ahead and then fix this little thing right here. Boop. Third man. All right. Starting off with Adam Pearce. As a GM, as the third man would be a very interesting pick. It will have a throwback to the authority days and the corporation and all that kind of stuff. Having someone from the front office, I think Adam Pearce would be a fun pick, but kind of be a double thing because Paul Heyman kind of handles the backstage politics, but Adam Pearce would be fun. Now, I want to make sure, a lot of that, I don't know much about the NXT talent, so I'm just going to put no way for now. Now, if they're on my radar, I would consider them, but please comment down below and let me know. Now, AJ Styles, I'm going to put as a wild card. Now, I know a lot of people saying that Seth Rollins' faction is the future, is the new Evolution 2.0. But I see AJ Styles as the kind of a guy that would work as a Ric Flair type of presence. Someone who's legacy, someone who look good in a suit, someone who could just add that little bit of, I don't know what you can say, just a little something, that little seasoning that I feel like this faction could benefit from a veteran presence like AJ Styles. And what a great way for AJ Styles to retire as part of Seth Rollins' third man faction. I would absolutely love it. Tozawa, no way. No way. Alba Fire, not there. No, she's still there. She's Secret Service. I'll put that in the no way as well. Alex Shelley from Motor City Machine Guns. You know what? I'm gonna put would be fun. It would be fun to have Alex Shelley, and the Motor City. I'm gonna, once I get to Chris, oh, there it is. I'm going to put Motor City Machine Guns. That'd be kind of sick. I think Motor City Machine Guns are a little vanilla right now on the SmackDown roster, and they would benefit to have a little bit of some, as the word of the day, seasoning. It'd be nice to get these boys a little bit of a rub that just gives them something beyond just their pure babyface vibe that they have right now, and let them be part of Seth Rollins' faction. That'd be kind of sick to be them, to be the third man. Alexa Bliss. You know what? It would be a big swerve, all right? It would be a big swerve if Alexa Bliss was the third man. I mean, you do have some, I guess, some crossovers. I'm trying to think. I think Seth Rollins and The Fiend had some cross. Maybe. It'd be weird. I do think Alexa Bliss has greener pastures beyond away from the Wyatt Six thing, but, Alexa Bliss in the faction would be a big swerve. I'm going to put no way for Alicia Taylor. Andrade. Boy, why am I leaning towards Vince's pick? You know what? If my gut tells me Vince's pick, I think Vince McMahon would want Andrade part of Seth Rollins' faction. Andrade does have size. I mean, to be fair, no, he never was a Vince guy. No way. Andre Chase, again, not familiar with this game. I know he's part of Chase U. Forgive me. Angel, see, it's not the same vibe as Motor City Machine Guns. I'm gonna put no way. Angelo Dawkins as the third man would be interesting. I'm gonna put no way. Apollo Crews, Vince's pick. I'm gonna put this down. It's Vince's pick. I feel like Apollo Crews survived a lot of the releases and he's just around, but Apollo Crews in there, I think that would be a Vince's pick. I don't know why. It's in my gut. It makes no sense, but it's Vince McMahon. What can I say? Ariana Grace, I'm going to put in no way. Adonis, I'm going to put no way. Again, not familiar. Asuka now. Asuka would be a wild card. There's a lot of a theme here with the wild card tier so far. Asuka would be a definitely interesting pick, considering it's still same thing like AJ Styles. It's a veteran. It just adds that flavor that the Seth Rollins faction may need, and just the demon Asuka could be really cool. Austin Theory. Now, Austin Theory, I'm going to leave right here as possibly Seth Rollins' third man. This is a very popular choice in the internet. If you look at a lot of comments, even in the tweet that I made here on X, was that a lot of people were interested in Austin Theory. My only thing about Austin Theory is that he is not being built up to be a third man level threat. Does that make sense? He's been beaten down to oblivion with this Grayson Waller will they won't they breakup type of thing, and he's been the butt in of a lot of jokes when it comes to celebrities. That possibly that Austin Theory could have a kind of a complete backlash and have a retro like fire back that maybe it would put him in the third man slot. So I'm gonna leave that there for now, and then we'll look into it once we break down this whole list. Ava, The Rock's daughter, Vince's pick. Let's go Axiom. Ooh, Axiom. No way. He's just too pure of a baby face, and even if it was a big swerve, I wouldn't see it. BFAB. BFAB, if BFAB would be in the would be fun category, but I feel like BFAB is just so green, just so much things to work up to get to that point. Bailey, man, Bailey, I'm gonna put Bailey in the would be fun. Thunderdome Bailey is very reminiscent of the Messiah. Seth Rollins, Karen Bailey was a fun vibe. Heel Bailey is always the best, but it would be fun to give Bailey a second life. That's the way I see it, as it would be fun. Bailey definitely needs a second lifeline here. Bailey has been floundering on the main roster for a while. Her babyface run has gone a little stale, and just like Seth Rollins, why not make her a heel with them? Berto, I'm putting no way. I like what Berto's doing with Legato right now, and I think Legato and the breakup with Berto would be something more interesting. Bianca Belair, I'm gonna put as a big swerve. Considering that Bianca Belair is a big baby face, I mean, she is out for injury, but Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are in the same boat as I am. If I felt like on the early inklings of the Seth Rollins third faction and who would be the third man, I thought Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, just to add a little bit of the power, star power to the faction would be very interesting. If Bianca Belair would join them, that would definitely be a big swerve. Bronson Reed, now, I'm going to put Bronson Reed as a wild card. I think Bronson Reed would have been a fine choice if he wasn't injured. Bronson Reed does have, he has gone against Seth Rollins, so that's why I think it's a wild card. But just in loan of just pure beast power, Bronson Reed will be a great person to add to a faction. It'd be kind of samey with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and maybe Seth Rollins gets confused by calling him Braun. But I'm going to put them as a wild card. Big E, you know what? I'll put Big E as would be fun. I think Big E, considering he's on the other end of one of the biggest heel turns of all time with the New Day, having Big E part of that faction as a mouthpiece, maybe as a mascot, would be interesting. I'm just gonna put as would be fun because, hey man, get Big E back on TV. Blake Howard, I'm gonna put it no way. Booker T, no way. Shucky Ducky Quack Quack, Braun Strowman, I'm Braun Strowman. Not longer here. Tyler Breeze is more of a producer, no way. Brian Lee Reese, I'm going to respectfully. Braun Breaker is already there, so I'm going to put Braun Breaker up here. He's already the third man. We're going to continue Brooks Jensen, Bronco Nima, Brutus Creed. Brutus Creed, no way. I think he's solidified in the American made. Byron Saxon, shut up Saxon. We're going to put Vince's pick. Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae, no way. I think Candice LeRae's heel turn kind of got squandered by pairing up with Nia Jax. I think Candice LeRae was doing something so unique with that heel turn with Indy Hartwell, but as soon as you paired up with Nia Jax, it kind of went meh. Let's see, Carly Bright, Carlito as the third man. I'm going to put no way, respectively. Judgment Day, again, is one of those things is like, there's just no way that he could get built back up to that elite star power that he had in his glory days, in the early days of his first WWE tenure. Someone that was a threat, someone that was a single star that could challenge John Cena. I think those days are gone for Carlito. Carmelo is no longer there. Carmelo Hayes. Now, Carmelo Hayes, I think, is a wild card. The reason why I do believe Carmelo Hayes would be the wild card in this situation is because I like Miz Don't Miz a lot. I think Miz Don't Miz gives a lot of leg room for Carmelo Hayes. I know Carmelo Hayes being next to Paul Heyman would amplify him to the point where, like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Like, that's a huge increase of like equity in the WWE if he was a Paul Heyman guy. But I just right now love the slow maturation, the slow rise of Carmelo Hayes, and I like the pit stop with the Miz. Kathy Kelly, no, she's too good of a goody two-shoe. She's a reporter. Chad Gable. Now, Chad Gable as a third man, I want to put it would be fun. It would be fun to see Gable gives a little bit of good burn, you know? I think Chad Gable has been put in that situation where he's been waiting for his big break. Every time he gets close, he gets put down a little bit. Every time he signs a new contract, he has to job out. And he has a weird side quest with allegedly with Grande Americano. But what if Chad Gable broke out of American Made and started doing his own thing with Seth Rollins? I think it'd be great for Chad Gable. Of course, it would benefit Chad Gable more than the faction itself. So that's what I put and would be fun. Stax Lorenzo, and I'm putting no way for now. Now, Charlie Dempsey, I'm going to put as a big swerve. The son of William Regal in this faction, I know he's in NXT. I know he's a rookie, but the name alone of William Regal, in terms of that lineage and having him in part of that faction, I kind of see it as a young rookie. It'd be a very interesting pick. I think it would be a big swerve to pull someone of obscurity, in a quote, in the sense of the realm of Raw and SmackDown, from NXT to that level of height with that fast rocket action. Maybe. I like Charlie's look. I like his vibe. I think he would fit in Seth Rollins' faction very well. Charlotte Flair. Oh, Charlotte. No, Vince's pick, 100%. I think if they wanted to give if Vince wanted to give Charlotte a little bit of more of buzz, a little bit more of a oomph, another layer of hate, so to speak, when it comes down to being a heel, I think Vince would put Charlotte Flair in that faction and then have some kind of weird love triangle with Becky Lynch, you know, something stupid like that. Chelsea Green. Oh, I'm going to put no way. I like Chelsea Green on her own. CM Punk. Dog, CM Punk as the third man is a big no way. There's just... CM Punk just... They just hate each other so much. The animosity between Seth Rollins and CM Punk is probably one of the realest things in this business going for right now in pro wrestling. And it would be a huge waste of a great feud, because CM Punk and Seth Rollins definitely have to pay off as a WrestleMania at some point. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes as the third man would be a big swerve. I think Cody Rhodes turning heel off camera almost, because this would be like a why did he come to this moment type of decision off camera. There is really no justification for him. I mean, we live in the Triple H era where every heel turn from a babyface to heel turn is justified, whereas Cody Rhodes' justification would be the only thing would be like, hey, he owes Seth Rollins a favor maybe, but I would think it would be a big swerve. It would be like a out of nowhere, what the hell, he finished the story, now he's a bad guy. But it wouldn't be like a pure, like a Homelander Cody Rhodes. It'd be like a justified Cody Rhodes. Will he just be operating like a babyface? So I would be considered a big swerve. Cora Jade, not there. Corey Graves, no way. Cruz del Toro, no way. Cutler James, no way. Dakota Kai, not there. Damian Priest. I'm going to put no way. And I think I'm going to put, the reason why I put Damian Priest in no way is like, he's kind of annoying as a faction leader and a faction member. In these last runs of Judgment Day, where he was the Terror Twins, he was booked, and he was his character, and again, not Damian Priest, but his character got mad annoying, and I hated listening to him. And I don't want him to be around Seth Rollins' faction, because he's gonna have to eventually talk. Danny Palmer, no way. Dante Chin, no way. Dexter Lumis. So the white, you know what? I'm just gonna put the entire white six in no way. That's just not gonna work for me. Now, hear me out. I may lose you here in this video, but please don't go. And if you watch so far, sub. We're having fun. I'm gonna put Dominic Mysterio as a high possibility to be Seth Rollins' third man. Seth Rollins' third man needs to be a sexy pick, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the Intercontinental Champion, for him to leave Judgment Day to greener pastures for Seth Rollins' faction that has Paul Heyman, would be a great pickup for Seth Rollins' faction and a great pickup for Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And not only that, Dirty Dominic Mysterio comes with Liv Morgan, so I'm definitely going to put Liv Morgan as well. And if you just think about that faction, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman, it just adds something to that faction that it desperately needs, and it gives Liv Morgan an expert boost as well, considering that she had a phenomenal year in 2024. Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan as Seth Rollins' third man. I mean, I'm shooting for the moon here, but I think that it's a high possibility. It's one of those ones that it's in between a wild card and Seth Rollins' third man. Dragon Lee, no way. If even Rey Mysterio doesn't get her considered him part of the group, why would Seth Rollins? I'm gonna put Drake here in this one. I think he may be released actually. Drew McIntyre. I want to put Drew McIntyre in the wild card. Now, Drew McIntyre has been another one of the fan picks for Seth Rollins's kind of faction. I think Seth Rollins is having a Drew McIntyre is too much of a loose cannon to have on your team type of vibe. He considers to have Braun Breaker on his team, even though Braun Breaker's a loose cannon. But I think Seth Rollins believes that he can control Braun Breaker. You can't control Drew McIntyre, not at all. So I think Drew McIntyre will remain a lone wolf, but I consider it as a wild card, considering that maybe Drew might join him just for a stint, but he's one of those ones that he could turn on you, He'll bite your hand. I think Eddie's no longer there. No, not there. Elton Prince? No way. Eric Rowan? No way. Eric from the War Raiders? No way. Ethan Page? Ethan Page is a wild card for me. I think Ethan Page works really well on his own. Now, would Ethan Page really round out the Seth Rollins faction? I think so. I think Seth Rollins would love a Ethan Page, but Ethan Page needs a lot of mic time. And he'd be, if he was like if you look at the Shield, if he was like the Dean Ambrose, where he was just more of the vocal one, perhaps. But Seth Rollins is now taking a more dominant role in this faction, and then Paul Heyman does a lot of the talking, and I don't think Ethan Page would be down for that. You know what I mean? I think his ego would be all egoists would be, that's the word I made up, would be too high to say another. But I put him as a wild card, put him as a wild card. No way. Finn Balor. Ooh, Finn Balor. It'd be interesting for Finn Balor to have this situation, because Finn Balor is this one of those situations where he's in purgatory. I think Finn Balor would be fun. I think Finn Balor would be a situation where he could kind of thrive out of the box that he's been in the madness that he's been in regarding to the continuous amount of, just constantly getting pinned, always being on the wrong end of the stick in every feud, always being the guy that will put everyone over. I think Finn Balor putting in the Seth Rollins thing would maybe, if you were thinking of a long play, would be to get at Cody Rhodes, because Finn Balor was a member of the Bullet Club. Cody Rhodes is a member of the Bullet Club. So it's a long road shot, but I'm going to put him in and would be fun. Gigi's no longer there. Julia. You know what? I want to put it in the... It's just too green in terms of the rookie, in terms of the WWE, too green. It's on the cusp of would be fun. I think Julia would be cool. Grayson Waller, you know what? I want to put Grayson Waller as a big swerve. Everyone has their chips in the Austin Theory basket, but if Grayson Waller turned, I think that'd be wild. That would be an unexpected pick, because we've been kind of it's proper Triple H cadence, right? To consider Austin Theory. We've been lean towards Austin Theory. We've been told it's Austin Theory that's going to break. Grayson Waller has been the guy that's been pulling the strings of Austin Theory. And all of a sudden, it's Grayson Waller that leaves Austin Theory. I mean, that could possibly happen. I just don't think it's going to be as sexy as a pick as a Dominic Mysterio. Gunther. No way. Gunther's his own man. Gunther is Imperium. Would it be fun? No, I don't think it'd be fun for Gunther. I don't think it'd be fun for Gunther fans. I don't even think it'd be fun for Seth Rollins fans. He's just too big of a he's too big of a star, His gravitas is too far to be able to do anything like that. It's interesting to have Hikuleo here. I'm gonna put Hikuleo in no way. Ilya Dragunov. I am going to put Ilya. Where did I accidentally drop you, Ilya? I'm going to put Ilya in the wild card situation. I think it is a wild card, considering that if he is good back from an injury, I think Ilya would be a sick guy to have in your faction. He would have that suave with the suits and things of that sort. The problem with it being a wild card is that Ilya has almost been a pure babyface ever since he's been on the main roster for sure. And it kind of would be a big swerve to see Ilya, but I think a lot of people are seeing that as well. And I would like Ilya. It would definitely add a lot of firepower to Seth Rollins, and Ilya wouldn't have to do a lot of the heavy lifting with the promo, considering he would be with Paul Heyman. Ivar, no. Ivy Nile, no. Io Sky, oh my goodness. If Io Sky joins Seth Rollins, it's not too unfamiliar territory. Io Sky has been a heel at NXT. And like I said, it's the same thing as would it be fun? No, it wouldn't be fun for Io Sky fans. It wouldn't be fun for Gunther fans either. So I want to put it in no way. I'm going to put this in no way. Jackie Redmond, no way. Jacob Fatu. Now, Jacob Fatu, I'm going to put in the no way as well. And I don't even think it would be fun. I think Jacob Fatu has solidified himself as a single star. And for him to go back into being a lackey and to going back to be a quiet guy is a bummer. He is finding more time on the microphone as himself. I know he has a lot of catchphrases, but they are banger catchphrases. And he has an intensity that I think would be watered down with the Seth Rollins faction. So I want to put that in no way. I'm going to put this in no way. Again, if I do get these wrong, I do apologize. Jade Cargill. I think Jade would be fun. Jade Cargill in this faction would be fun. I feel like a lot of the wrestlers that have like promo abilities and they are really great physically in the ring and they're getting themselves over as singles, I put them in the no way category. But Jade Cargill is lacking promo skills. She is getting better. She does have the star power, and I think putting her with Paul Heyman in this backdoor faction would give so much for Jade Cargill in a way that it would be fun for Jade to be part of the Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. And I think it'd be giving her something very, very important to do beyond this. We would stop thinking of Jade Cargill as a project and thinking of her as the future. Does that make sense? She dances that fine line. I'm gonna put Jada Parker there. I know she's no longer there. The releases are confusing me. There were so many releases recently. You could tell me in the comments down below, man. Again, I need to watch more NXT, but man, my Tuesdays are already caught up. JD McDonough. JD McDonough is the third man. I'm gonna put in a no way. I think it's even though he's gotten this newfound face pops recently, I think I'm going to put JD in that situation there with no way. Javon Evans. I'm going to put this as it would be fun. Javon Evans would be a spectacular pick in this faction. You know, you would have to lean in this idea that Seth Rollins is trying to teach the future. Javon Evans. You know what? I'm going to boost him up to wild card. Javon Evans being plucked from the NXT roster, passing up the NXT championship route, going straight to the main roster with this golden ticket of Seth freaking Rollins would be spectacular. His moveset's amazing. It would add an edge to him and give him something of a high quality character to latch onto. The only thing that I would kind of say no, if you're like watching right now, you're like, no, he's such a good Jeff Hardy type babyface. Then those are very, very hard to come by. The WWE has been, a lot of promotions have been doing their best to recapture the glory of Jeff Hardy's facedom, that you see so many copycats come and go. But Javon Evans is pretty close to capturing that. So that's why I would put it as a wild card. Jay, main event. Jay Uso, 4 letters, 1 word. Jay Uso, I will put this as a big swerve, okay? Do I see it happening? No. But Jay Uso becoming the third man would be the biggest swerve, but it would throw away so much goodwill that has been sacrificed. The WWE has invested so much. It's like as if you sold stocks, you know, diamond hands for so long and you just threw it into the wastebasket for main event Jey Uso. I think it'd be the biggest swerve. It wouldn't be a biggest swerve as Cody Rhodes. You know, Cody Rhodes would be like a logical swerve, but this would be like, oh my God, you know, it would be the wildest thing ever. Jimmy Uso, you know what? No way. Even though it would, yes, it'd be a swerve. It'd be like, oh my God, they're wasting Jimmy, right? Jimmy as a babyface has something there, you know. they could kind of sprout it into not the levels of a Jey Uso, but they could get it to a nice mid-card level. And I was so excited when he was challenging for the United States title against LA Knight. And then he had to go ahead and slap Gunther. Joaquin, no. Joe Coffey, I think he's no longer there. Joe Gacy, not now. Now, no way. Joe Tessitore, no way. John Cena. John Cena as the third man. Now, you could be leaning on this whole action of what's the word I'm looking for? The thing is, with John Cena comes with luggage, and that luggage is the final boss, The Rock. Already, John Cena was the third man for The Rock's faction. That seemingly is Travis Scott, The Rock, and John Cena. So I'm gonna put that as no way. Would it be fun? No, I don't think it'd be fun. I think this faction is a faction that will be around a long time. And even though I did put AJ Styles here, AJ Styles does have like about 2-3 years left, and this is John Cena's last year. Johnny Gargano, no way. Jordan Grace, hear me out. I'm gonna put as a wild card. I think though, the more time that Jordan Grace gets exposed on the roster, I'm gonna put it out here. The more would be fun. The more time Jordan Grace gets on NXT, the less of this is a great pick. You know what I'm saying? It's like the more of you see of a monster like in Jaws, the less of a fearsome thing it becomes. If Seth Rollins added a Jordan Grace, it would be kind of like the Death Riders and Jon Moxley, right? Type of vibe. I just would see Jordan Grace as a kind of like a China 2.0 in this situation, being that heel presence for the ladies for this faction would be cool. And at the same time, the ability to interfere a la China, a la Rhea Ripley would be kind of nice to have. So it would be fun. It's a different kind of tempo when it comes to Jade Cargill, considering Jordan Grace. No way. Julius Creed, no way. Kairi Sane, I'm putting no way as well. Can't wait for the return. I want to Kale Dixon, put no way. Karrion Kross. I'm going to put Karrion Kross as a wild card. Now, the reason why I like Karrion Kross in this position is that he has a possibility to be a third man. It's simply because of his newfound kind of virality that he has, and he's the #1 t-shirt seller. So if the WWE was trying to find a place for him, you could slot him in the third man situation here to continue on that popularity, to capture that lightning in the barrel bottle for Karrion Kross. My only thing about it is I actually like Karrion Kross as a singles guy. I like Karrion Kross being this ominous presence, being this floater going around to different brands. I like that idea that Karrion could do that. And I think that if he's become like a lackey and he becomes a silent partner, it wouldn't be as fun. Now, if he was part of a subset of Seth Rollins, kind of like, how they had the corporate ministry back in the day, and they had, but for those of you who don't know, Undertaker had his ministry and the corporation, they had their own thing, and then they joined together and made the corporate ministry. Weird time, I know, they're in the Attitude Era. So if you had those things, the subset maybe, but I want to see Karrion succeed on his own. I know Katana Chance, they're not there. I don't know you, respectfully. I know there's so many great talents in NXT I should watch. Kevin Owens, just considering that his injury, I mean, with the WWE, you never know if things are work or real, things of that sort. I'm going to put that as a no way from now. You know what? I would put him as Vince's pick. Even though Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon sometimes never really got along, and even though Kevin Owens' booking sometimes wasn't the best with Vince, he did have some little highlights, and I think Kevin Owens would kind of make sense in a Vince era to be part of that faction. Kiana James, no way. Kit Wilson, no way. Kofi Kingston, no way. LA Knight, wow. LA Knight as a third man. No way. I think LA Knight's been building himself up as to be like a Stone Cold type of character, where he's an everyman, that he's his own guy, that he does everything his way, no matter if he's right or wrong, if he's dumb or smart, he's gonna do what he thinks is best. And oftentimes he eats his own words, he puts his foot in his mouth and eats his own crow. There's so many situations where LA Knight just falls short in, and I think that LA Knight is right now in a situation that he's gonna be on his own for a while. Lance, where are you, Lance? I don't think Lash is no longer there. I don't know. Lexus King. Oh, wow. I'm going to put this in the same category as Charlie Dempsey. It would be a huge swerve, but Lexus King would be the right annoying heel, right? That right amount of weaselly, snively, just no good, doesn't deserve the spot type of heel. He would get heat. He would have that X-Pac go away heat in this faction. If he popped up, people would be like, ew, this is disgusting. Who made this decision? And he would be able to sell it, and he would become a lovable part of the faction eventually. Lillian Grace, no way. Logan Paul. So many people on the internet as well are selecting Logan Paul. A lot of people like the idea of Logan Paul. I'm gonna put Logan Paul as a wild card. I think Logan Paul's lack of, like, if you're gonna be in Seth Rollins' faction, you need to be there all the time. You need to be there at every time everyone shows up. You're there too. This faction needs to look like a powerhouse faction. This faction does not need to look like a part-time faction, right? There's a reason why Braun Breaker's there. He's guy's a grinder. Seth Rollins, a grinder. Paul Heyman, a grinder. Logan Paul wouldn't need to be a grinder to be part of this faction. So that's why I want to put him as a wild card. It can't be like, oh, where's Logan? Logan's doing off something else. Logan Paul, if he wanted to be part of Seth Rollins' third man, would need to definitely be a full-timer. And I don't know if Seth Rollins wants part-timers or wants YouTubers in this faction. So I want to put that as, it would be a wild card. Lola Vice, I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna put that there. Look back there. Kaiser, Lyra Valkyria, no way. Too much of a goody two shoes. There's no way that she will do that. I'm gonna keep going. Maxine Dupree, no way. If Maxine Dupree would be quite interesting. Michael Cole. You know what? Michael Cole as a third man would be fun. Let me expand on that. Not necessarily as the only thing. Like, he would be like, he would need to be an addition to someone else on the third man. A heel Michael Cole, even though not popular, still really, really good. But I'm going to put, it would be fun. Michin, no way. Mike Rome, no way. The Miz as the third man, no way. It's just, I just like him so much with Miz Don't Miss, with Carmelo Hayes. And I think that Miz would be a downgrade, you know? He would be like the guy that it wouldn't be like, ooh, even, it's the Miz. Like, what are you doing here, Miz? Montez Ford. I'm going to put Montez Ford as a big swerve. There are so many people in this world want Montez Ford to be a single star, and they want him to have a singles run. Montez Ford is a great tag team, great athleticism, great on the mic, and I feel like sometimes in the tag team division, especially in the WWE, there's not a lot of road to go down. Your potential is very limited. Like Macho Man said, the sky's the limit. But unfortunately, with the tag team division, no, that is not true. So to be able to give Montez Ford this big opportunity to join Seth Rollins' faction, I think it'd be huge for Montez Ford, and not only for himself in the now, but in the future. And I think this would be a great pickup for Seth Rollins to have a Montez Ford. But it'd be like one of those picks that they would definitely have to kind of put a lot of work into it to really make it work. Because you would have to get the heel turn, and then you would have to make it, solidify with Seth Rollins, and all these kinds of things would work out. But I think Montez Ford would be sick, dude. Definitely. Miles Bourne. I know, no, just respectfully, no way right now. I mean, he's a great guy. Naomi. Naomi feels like if they wanted to put a lady on that faction, maybe Vince's pick. I mean, I know Naomi was not treated well during Vince's era. She's a Funkadactyl, for crying out loud. But I think Vince would have enjoyed this chaotic energy of Naomi, of the proceed with caution. But I want to put her no way right now. And Talia would be Vince's pick. Nathan Frazier, no way. Nia Jax. Oh my God. I want to put in Vince's pick because it kind of makes sense, but it wouldn't be fun. That sounds like Vince McMahon. Nick Aldis, I don't see him turning. I want to put him in no way. Nikki Cross, no way. Nikita Lyons, no way. Nico Vance, no way. No way. Obafemi. Now, Obafemi would be fun. Would be fun and be a big swerve. Be in between these two. I think Obafemi has that presence of this faction is unbeatable. This faction could destroy 100 Brock Lesnar's type of vibe, right? Obafemi is that force that can get over on the main roster just based on physical ability alone, but he can also be one of those presence on the main roster can kind of flounder to the wayside because, you know, it's hard to get yourself over promo wise. And I know Obafemi has that presence on NXT where he could cut these kind of militaristic, I'm going to get myself over by getting the crowd chanting with me type of thing. And those are the kind of things that are hard to get over on the main roster because the casual fan is a lazy fan. You know, we're not going to really, we're going to have to work really hard to get us to get on our feet, right? You see Montez Ford doing this and that's slowly getting over. It took a long time to get Jey Uso yeet over. I think Obafemi getting his kind of promo style over, it will take a while on the main roster. But it would definitely happen a lot faster if he was with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. And I think that would be a very interesting thing. It'd be a big swerve indeed. Obafemi in the big swerve category. Oh, we're getting closer and closer, man. We've been working it. Almost. And I would put him as Vince's pick. Vince's pick, big guy, 7-footer, would cause problems. That's totally Vince McMahon's pick. That he would be like corporate authority, Big Show. Like that's totally it. And totally it. Now, I would be cool if someone who watches NXT make their own NXT list. That'd be neat. I would dig that. Otis, I've seen Otis as a heel and it's not fun. American Alpha when it was a heel, or Alpha Academy when it was a heel faction, wasn't really fun to deal with. He had that little stash. Pat McAfee, no way. I kind of want to put him in Vince's pick. Paul Heyman, we already have up here. You know, I could kind of just call this. Yeah, we're going to keep it as third man. I mean, I could create a. Let me just do this. Look at this. Add a row above. And this is Seth's faction. All right. And we could just put these two in there. There we go. That looks nice, doesn't it? Triple H. Ooh. I'm going to put it as a big swerve. To have Triple H to be a part of this faction in a corporate authority type of way would be a big swerve. It wouldn't be as fun as Adam Pearce, but it'd be a big swerve. I mean, there are ties to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been the architect, has been a thing for the faction. So yeah, Triple H. A lot of history there. Known to be a heel every now and then. I just think there's just so much goodwill in the WWE as having him as the face of WWE in the corporate world that you wouldn't want him to be a bad guy right now. So I would put it as a big swerve, but it wouldn't be so much fun for us in the WWE universe. Benta. No way. No way. Pete Dunne, I want to put no way. Piper Niven, no way. R-Truth, no way. I think you may think like, yeah, R-Truth, put him in the would be fun category, but I just think R-Truth wouldn't be fun. He's a fun dude, but it would just water down Seth's faction so hard. You know what? Actually, come here, Seth Rollins. Where are you, sugar boo? Gonna put you right up here. Yeah. Okay. Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton would be Vince's pick. Randy Orton would probably be turned heel in Vince's pick to round out that faction, to give it more prestige, pal. Let's see. Raquel Rodriguez. No way. Unfortunately, she wouldn't join them. Rey Mysterio. No way. Rhea Ripley. Now, Rhea Ripley, I'm going to put in the big swerve category alongside Bianca Belair. I think Rhea Ripley's face run is kind of gone stale. Now, you may be arguing with me and go, not so fast, Sancho. Rhea Ripley's getting the biggest pops in the arena. Yes, I get that. But for me, it's like Rhea Ripley's at her best when she is a heel. She's at her best when she regains control. Now, that's the only thing, though, is like she wouldn't be the head honcho here when it comes down to Seth's faction. It'd be Seth Rollins. But Paul Heyman and her do have some history. They do have some time where they were kind of making deals with Judgment Day and the Bloodline. It'd be a big swerve. And I thought at the onset of this, like I said early in the video, Rhea Ripley was one of those things where they're like, hey, who's the biggest name in the yard right now that's available? And I know a lot of people on the internet were going for male superstars. And I'm like, why not Rhea freaking Ripley? They both use freaking in their name. That's the thing to think about. Ricky Starks. Ooh, no one's didn't even talk about Ricky Starks. I'm going to be bold. Ricky Starks is a high possibility to be the third man. If they wanted to bootstrap him and rocket him up to the moon, I think Ricky Starks would be very interesting. I know they're taking it slow, Ricky Starks. They put him down in NXT, but he would fit. He would fit, and he would kind of fall in and then have moments where he stands out on his own. He has the aura as well. Man, I can't believe no one's really talked about Ricky Saints. I don't think anyone's really talked about that, man. I like it. The more I think about it, the more I like it. Let me know in the comments if you like Ricky Saints is there. Ridge Holland, new Vince's pick. Riley Osborne, no way. The Rock. The Rock, even there, it looks disgusting, right? You could argue that maybe The Rock is still part of this faction. Maybe Rock, Cena, and Travis Scott is part of this faction. But The Rock, I feel like, has kind of hurt himself so much so in this situation that people don't want to see him right now. He has kind of created this ill will by just not appearing on TV. That Mania no show at Mania really hurt him. Roman Reigns, no way. There's too much animosity between Seth Rollins. It's the same category as CM Punk. You'll be leaving money on the table by not having Rollins and Roman Reigns fight each other, and to pair them up now, it's just too weird. Roxanne Perez, the Laredo Kid. I put in would be fun. I think Roxy has definitely earned her way into some sort of a main roster. Of course, she just debuted on the main roster, going up against Rhea Ripley and Io. I think Roxy she would only be work if there was like a sub level of this Seth Rollins. I mean, wouldn't it be a third man quality and wouldn't it be a big splash? But it would be fun to give Roxy something like that. Sami Zayn. You may be saying, Sancho, put this in Big Swerve. It'd be a big swerve for the CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn to join in, just like Jey Uso would be a big swerve. But Sami Zayn is very predictable. I'm going to put him as a wild card because he is a wild card. He's always been a wild card in the main roster. This man could be your friend one moment. He could tell you some great things and be your positive attitude, and he could turn on you in an instant. Even if you are the bad guy, he can turn on you. So I'm going to put him as the wild card because it is possible. The way the WWE framed the shot of Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn, very reminiscent of the Shield of Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. So it could be possible Sami Zayn would do a turn, but it'd just be I guess so. Santos Escobar, no way. No way. Put them there. Ooh, Scarlett, no way. Well, I mean, Scarlett goes with Karrion, so we're going to put, there you go, the wild card. There we go. Oh, Shawn, the Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn would be fun. I think it'd be fun to see Shawn Michaels get himself a little dirty as a heel. It's the same thing with Paul Triple H Levesque, that he has built himself up to be this uber babyface as a positive image in the WWE, a father figure for the young NXT talent, almost like a Dusty Rhodes of his time. The reason why I think it'd be fun is that Shawn Michaels doesn't have the responsibilities of Triple H to be the face of WWE in the corporate world. He could still be a pro wrestler. So it'd be kind of fun to have Shawn Michaels as the third man. Shawn Spears, no way. Shayna Baszler, no longer there. Sheamus. Sheamus as the third man. No way. I think he's just been a little too cheesy lately, you know? If he was still his heel persona, maybe. If he was the Brawling Brute, maybe. But now he's just this babyface that puts banger after banger, and he wears like a leather trench coat running around like a detective. I don't know. Looks like LFG guy. I'm gonna put him in. No way. Shinsuke Nakamura. No way. Shotzi no longer there. Sol Ruka. No way. Solo Sikoa. If Solo Sikoa was the third man, it wouldn't be fun. No one would like it. No way. Stephanie Vaquer. Too much value as a babyface. Too much value, and at the same time, she's a megastar on her own. There's just no way that WWE would do that. Tama Tonga, I put him in the same boat as Solo Sikoa. I'm gonna put them here. Taxi and Paxley. Again, these people may not be here, but I may not be. I don't know. This is not an updated roster. Tiffany Stratton. Ooh, would be fun. Tiffy would be fun. I know she's finally found her footing as a babyface. She survived the awful feud with Charlotte Flair in WrestleMania 41, but still, Tiffany Stratton as a heel, really, really good. Tiffany Stratton telling Paul Heyman toodles when they have their meetings would be hilarious. So I'm definitely thinking that it would be a very fantastic find. Very fantastic find to have Tiffany Stratton in there. And I just think it'd be round out the group just a little bit more. I feel like you gotta have layers to a faction to ever survive. That's what made NWO work so well when they had so many different layers. You had the uber coolness of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and then you had like the dorky nature with Virgil, respectfully. Ciampa, no, man lost his beard, no longer gonna say it. Tonga Loa, no, we'll botch everything. Tony D'Angelo, no, not yet. Trick Williams, oh brother. Trick Williams, another heavy favorite. I'm gonna put Trick Williams as a high possibility, the third man. But this would be another skip the line type of situation. Now, I know Trick Williams has been NXT champion. I know Trick Williams is currently in a heel run right now. I know Trick Williams is feuding with TNA. But I think Trick Williams would be a great member of Seth Rollins' faction, considering that he is still very raw. He's still rough around the edges in some places. Paul Heyman would definitely round that out, would smooth that out. I think Trick Williams has that kind of presence as well. Wouldn't be as dominant figure as an Obafemi, but still would have that charisma to go alongside Seth Rollins. And at the same time, Braun Breaker and Trick Williams tag teams would do very, very well. I think this would be a very interesting faction, and I think that would add a lot of stock value for like a future. It'd be a great future investment for Seth Rollins. Tyler Bate, the man got quad for days. So they put a lot of LFG people here. Interesting. D, Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas. Well, even though Uncle Howdy would be no. No. I mean, I feel bad for Wyatt 6 fans. And I saw the writing on the wall very early when it came to Wyatt 6. Is the idea that we were in Triple H's era. Triple H was leaning more on semi-realistic stuff. And to be able to sell the spectacular like an Undertaker, like a Fiend, like a Uncle, like a Bray Wyatt, very difficult for the WWE for the longest time. We got lucky that the Undertaker came up in the era where 80s wrestling and 90s wrestling was still around. Even in the 90s, it took around to get the Undertaker into full form. Undertaker went through a lot of bad times. I mean, he was literally putting people on his side and things of that sort. Uncle Howdy does not have that kind of leeway, and unfortunately that cost him, and I think it's cost the entire Wyatt 6 faction. Valhalla, Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett, Wendy Chu. We're getting closer to the end here. Let's see. Ooh, Xavier Woods, no way. There we go. Zarya would be fun. I think Zarya is one of those situations where super green, not a lot of experience on TV in terms of WWE television, but it'd be a very interesting pick. I think there were so many other women on the like even like I said, a Jordan Grace, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley would fit better in the mold. But Zarya would be fun. I think Zarya would be something excellently kind of like unique. Zelina Vega, no way. Zoe Stark. No way. Rey Phoenix. Animo. I'm gonna put him in Penta. All right. So before we talk about who I think is gonna be the one that joins up, let's go ahead and look through the list real quick. Vince's picks of who would be the third man: Apollo Crews, Ava, Byron Saxton, Kevin Owens, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Nia Jax, Omos, Randy Orton, Ridge Holland, and The Rock. And please comment down below if you disagree with any of these. And again, I'm very inexperienced at NXT. Forgive me. Would be fun. Adam Pearce as the third man. Alex or Motor City Machine Guns as the third man would be fun. Bayley, Big E, Chad Gable, Finn Balor, Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace, Michael Cole, Roxanne Perez, Shawn Michaels, Tiffany Stratton, and Zarya. I'm kind of comfortable with those picks. The big swerves for the third man would be Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, Charlie Dempsey, Cody Rhodes, Grayson Waller, Lexis King, Jey Uso, Montez Ford, Oba Femi, Triple H, Rhea Ripley. The wild card, which are like something that's maybe possible and they'd be a little bit off base, but not really if you really think about it. AJ Styles, Asuka, Big Bronson Reed, Carmelo Hayes, Drew McIntyre, Ethan Page, Ilya Dragunov, Javon Evans, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Logan Paul, and Sami Zayn. And here is where I think like high possibility that Seth Rollins is third man. Austin Theory, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Ricky Starks, and Trick Williams. And I guess my pick, if you had to say, hey, Sancho, we came for this video so you could tell me who is the third man. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. That looks like a great faction. I like it. It would add more to it. There's something to it. And if you remember in the Thunderdome, there was already of these kind of characters all kind of cross-pollinated. At one point, I think that's why Rey Mysterio lost an eyeball. So I like the idea of this faction being Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, alongside with Liv Morgan. Would add so much to them and will round them out so well. And I think they look great together. Let me know who you would have picked as the third man and who do you think is going to be the third man from WWE's choice. If you want more of these videos, be sure to follow. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.